Gentleman's time has expired. Mr. Desposito, my colleague from New York.
Well, thank you, Chairman, and thank you for allowing me to wave on to the subcommittee this afternoon. To all of you, thank you for being here. Prior to serving as a member of Congress, I was even prouder, I think, to be a member of the New York City Police Department, retiring there as a detective. And I know that just working in the 5 boroughs of New York City, you get to see different district attorneys and what their priorities are, their prosecutorial priorities. So I guess this was really a question for Mr. Papadopoulos, but it's really open to all of you. Do you see that the people that you're arresting and hopefully eventually prosecuted, are you dealing with different prosecutors with different priorities, and is that hindering your ability to take illegal narcotics?
Sir, thank you for the question. As you know, as former law enforcement, we collect the evidence, we gather the evidence and present it to a grand jury or to a prosecutor's office, and they decide the most appropriate charges. So we don't factor into that, right, other than collecting the evidence.
Right, but what I'm asking is, have you seen it become more difficult with different prosecutors, the effective, really the prosecution of drug arrests? Has it become more difficult as we see different prosecutors having different priorities? I mean, we see it throughout the United States of America, whether it's in cities like New York or places like California, where, crime is rampant because we see over and over again repeat offenders, people that are they're being arrested, they're being sometimes prosecuted, and then they are let out to commit more crimes. And one of the biggest things that we've seen is repeat offenders. So have we seen in the issues on our southwest border, when we're dealing with specifically in this hearing, the trafficking of narcotics and fentanyl, have we seen repeat offenders, and has the ability of prosecutors and perhaps their priorities had an effect on the way that you guys are able to really take criminals off the street, and I think most important, keep them off the street?
Yes, sir. So for the border, I'll defer to DHS on what they're seeing there. I will say that, DEA strives to prosecute federally, not at the local level.
Of course.
And what we see when we do that is that more of an impact in terms of crime reduction and sentencing.
Right, but even federal prosecutors, different offices have different priorities, and sometimes we see things headed in a different direction. So I guess for the border, I'll hand it over to you guys.
I don't oversee our domestic operations branch, but I will tell you that I don't believe that we have seen much of a change. There's a consistent cadre who works day in and day out on the law enforcement, either CBP or HSI side, that works continuously with U.S. attorneys to take cases to the federal level. I can take that as a get back. If there's something different, I can let you know.
Okay, perfect.
Sir, I'd have to go with our DA and HSI colleagues. When we get seizures, they're turned over to them for the prosecution.
Great. I yield back. Thank you, Chairman.
The gentleman yields. My colleague, Mr. Ivey, is recognized for 5 minutes for question.